Okay, welcome to this first video demonstrating how to access the floodplain maps for Santa Cruz County via our internet access. First thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to start by going to the Santa Cruz County homepage, which is www.santacruzcountyaz.gov. Once you're there, the easiest thing to do to get to the maps will actually be to go down the side on the right hand side to where it says County Maps. If you click on County Maps, that's going to open up one of our GIS pages, and you'll see that there's a link back to the website, the homepage for the GIS, and then different links for the Assessor's Office, Districts, Precincts, Emergency Management, Flood Control, Planning and Zoning, Public Health, and Public Works. So we're going to want the Flood Control page. Once that comes up, you'll see that there are 4 different maps currently available. There is a map showing where expansive soils can be found within the county based on the USGS Soils Report. The National Flooding Public Information Map put out by FEMA. This one here, the D-firm panels, will actually allow you to go in and link to a actual PDF of the effective firm panels as they currently are constituted. And then the D-firm map, this is the one you're going to want to be able to search for a particular property within Santa Cruz County. So if you click on that, it will open up a web application. Now, the first time this opens, you might have to click some acknowledgments and get through it, but once you've done that before, you won't have to do it again. So here's the map as it comes up. We can see basically the outline of most of Santa Cruz County through here. We can see some colored areas, this kind of yellowish green area here, 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 and here. These are actually areas that are called Zone D on the floodplain maps. Basically, it means that the flood status has not been determined for the purpose of insurance. You can also see some blue areas, especially along the Santa Cruz River, the Nogales Wash, Potrero Creek, Sonoyta Creek, etc. Up here on the side we have the legend bar, so if we click on that it will open up the legend. You can see what the different areas are. We have letters of map amendment, which because of the scale we're out right now you won't be able to see, but we'll show those in a minute. The different types of floodplain delineations that are found on the maps, a floodway, which is going to be this hashed delineation that you can kind of make out right in here. Also, where there have been letters of map revisions since the maps became effective in 2011. The layer list is a good one to be familiar with. You have the parcels that you can bring up and turn off. We have the D-firm database. The D-firm database has a lot of the information in there, including benchmarks where we have them, survey control points, letter of map amendments that have been issued, special flood hazard areas, the floodway, etc. There's also in here you can sometimes see a local regulatory floodplain. So we can easily go through this. We can close this up by clicking on the double arrows right down here. We can go through this by simply typing in an address. So if we just pick an address at random and say 5 Calle Iglesia, if it is there, it will come up. So we can click on it and it will go to that area and show us what it looks like. Now here we can see this view. Here's the parcel it's clicked on. It's partially obscured by the box that opened up. We can close that box for the time being. The dot for the property we chose is still there. Notice how the property boundaries and the streets in the photo don't necessarily overlap. This is a known problem in our GIS. It's one that we've been working to try to fix. It's just a real bear to try to get it fixed completely without redoing all the parcels in the entire county. But we can see the different floodplains in here. We see this hatched area, this yellow hatched area is actually local regulatory floodplain. If you're not dealing with a permit issue, The local regulatory floodplain is probably not something you're going to need to know about, so you can actually go in and turn that off by opening up the layer list under the legend, or under, not the legend, but the layer list, and coming down to local regulatory floodplain areas, just clicking that off, closing it back up, and now all you're going to see are the floodplains themselves. Just a brief overview of some of the floodplains that we can see here. The area that's pretty much a clear photo is actually low hazard area, zone X. The area that's gray is moderate hazard, or zone X500, or X shaded, depending on the nomenclature of the person using it. And that just basically means that it's a slightly more severe risk of flooding than the low risk zone. Realistically, if you're on this for insurance purposes, the blue is what matters. If you're in the blue, you're in the FEMA high hazard area. That's going to be any flood zone that starts with the letter A. We have the different zones with different color blues to help distinguish them for people, but they can give you that information. You can scroll. If you want to just look around, you can scroll in an area. So one of the things we can do is we can scroll into here, and once it populates, we should see the letter of map amendments crop up in here. There should be some right here. Yeah, there they are. A little hard to see right there. These little reddish dots are letters of map amendment that have been issued in the county, so that if there's been a letter of map amendment, that basically means that there was enough information provided to FEMA to show that the ground around the structure is just higher, or is higher, than the base flood elevation of the 100-year event, which means that property has a letter from FEMA saying they don't have to have flood insurance. Now, that doesn't mean that they won't be required flood insurance by their lender, but it means that they don't have to have flood insurance under federal law. But you can go through, you can zoom in by scrolling the wheel in or out. You can do the same thing by using the plus or minus buttons here. You can go to your location, so if the computer system can read what your location is, you can click on my location and it will go through. Of course, this is asking if you want to track your physical locations, and so just say allow once, and zooms over to where our office is at 275 Rio Rico Drive. You can zoom in. You can see where the building is. Essentially, it takes a moment for it to refresh, but once it does, it's not bad. And you can see that here's the Santa Cruz River, the floodway of the Santa Cruz River, one of the tributaries that comes in, etc. So hopefully you find this interesting. Hopefully this is helpful to people. If it is, if it isn't, feel free to comment back to us via email. You can find my email on our website at www.santacruzcountyaz.gov. Just go to the flood control homepage and you can find me, John Hayes, and email me from there, and let me know what you think about the system, any improvements we can make to it, and that's all. Thank you.